Alright, so the stripping has begun. Got a little bit of rust repair down here. I think what I am going to do is I'm going to basically strip the outer skin. Let me flip this here, hold on. Okay, and then I'm going to use my heat gun and take the undercoating, all the undercoating off from under here. But I think what I'm going to need to do is, well, yeah, we got the dog leg repair back here too. But this area here is going to be kind of a pain to do. So I'm wondering if I should just sandblast the headlight bucket area and also, hold on, also sandblast this area here also. So sandblast here, all of the headlight bucket area, the back side of that area down through there, and maybe hit this area here with the sandblaster, and that area in the dog leg. Get it all straightened back up and cleaned up. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a fender with the holes notched out like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But that's the first time I ever seen them notched out like that. It's almost like it wasn't fitting right, so they screwed them out to make them fit. So, on another note, yeah, so that thing had, I don't know, a good 1/8 inch of Bondo over the whole thing. Over, looked to me like maybe just a couple small dents. Didn't look like it was horrible for them to do that. Like here, got a dent here, a little small one here, all this. But other than that, I mean, I'm not finding anything. Feel it there, and then across here feels good, and then on this side there's some dents right here in the front, like right in here, not bad. And then I thought I felt one over in this, yeah, right in here. There's a small little dent right here. But other than that, I mean, for as much Bondo that they had on that damn thing for them couple small little dings, I don't know. It just don't seem right to me. I'll just be using a hammer and a dolly on it. Look how that black is going to be against this off-white, whatever you want to call it. That black's is gonna stick out pretty good. I think it's gonna be a good combination, you know, with the rear end being black. And then let me put that gray up against it, if I can find something here that's gray. We got this piece here, but that gray up against it too. It's gonna look pretty good. The black and the dark gray. My opinion. You guys might not like it, but I'm gonna like it, I think. I think it's gonna look good. the bottom of the car. See all the parts in the black accents. Oh, anyway, so went ahead and pulled out some K-frame bolts here. I had two left over from that one car I stripped. Two of them were crusted out pretty bad. And then I had two from this car that were, you can see, pretty wore out. But I ended up with 4 decent ones. I'm going to sandblast them, and then I'll probably put them in some zinc oxide, or the black oxide, and then put the sealer on them, seal them up with the black oxide on them. Alright, that's where I'm at with it. Got to be working on some bolts here pretty quick, so I'm starting to pull some out that I had bagged up, like these here, and I will be dropping them in some evaporust and in tumbler. Put them in a tumbler and put some evaporust in there and let them run with some abrasive. Get them all cleaned up. And then, like I said, I'll probably do black oxide on most of the bolts. Anyways, just wanted to kind of show you where I'm at. Got that fender pretty much stripped down. I need to go over it, all of it, with like an 80 grit. That was 60. So I did 60 grit. Now we'll back over it with 80. And take it and have them areas sandblasted. Probably do the same on this fender here, but I don't think this one's got the Bondo in it that other one's got. It might have some, but it's not that bad a shape. So, alright, that's where I'm at. I'm going to be stripping these fenders. I'm going to take the trunk lids, got to be repaired and taken down the bare metal. The roof, the doors. So, yep, fun part, stripping, painting 1/8" Bondo off of parts later. Well, crap, poopa doopa loopa lopas. So got this one stripped, and it's got a few little dents here and there, not too bad. I mean, it's workable. And then I went ahead and I stripped the one that I thought was the better one. Yeah, my luck. So it's all ate up here in front, just like mine was. If I'd known that shit, I would have probably just worked on my own fenders. But anyways, I can't blame nobody. It's just the way it is whenever you got stuff hidden by Bondo. But man, this damn thing, look at that. Look at that. It is dented to I don't know what back here. I want to say some cuss words, but I'm not going to. But it's dented. And the only way to fix that is to really just hammer and dolly it. Oh, it's going to take some work. Excuse me. Hold on a minute. Flipping it over here. So where I've started at is drilling out all the spot welds on the inner structure of the dog leg and removing it. So that's where I'm starting at. So while I got the inner structure out, I could do all this rust repair here, knock these dents out of it. Okay. But that gives me the area to get back in here and to get behind it. You can see that's that old 1970s dent removal crap where they drill holes in the damn thing and then start pulling on it with screws or something. So anyways, that's where I'm at with this schnitzels. So disappointing, but what are you to do? I'm just going to work on it and see if I can't get it straightened out. Alright, I'll be back. Okay. The lovely life of restoring 50-year-old stuff that's been hammered on and beat on. I need to put some mosquito spray on for one, but next I need to go and use my grinder and get all of the Bondo out of all the dents, get it down to bare metal here, so I could start hammering the highs and lows until I can get this thing decent enough to actually put some Bondo on it, but not man, 1/8 inch thick. Alright, I'll get back. Alright, after cleaning up all the Bondo that they had in all the you could see hey, hello, oh man, but it's pretty straight up through there. There's another dent over there, you can see it right there. Other than that, it's not bad up there. It's all good all the way down in here, so it's like from here back that was beat the heck, dude. Well, my other fender was pretty bad too, but I think this is going to be the lesser of the two evils. So with that piece out of the back here, I can actually get to this 1970s, drill a hole and put a screw in it and yank, 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 but don't get anything straight really. Just pull the dent out as far as you can get it and then whoosh, smear some stuff on it. But I'm not going for that, so I will be hammering and dollying this here. I'm gonna start probably in this area right here where all the holes are, and kind of hammer that flat, and then I should be able to get the rest of the Bondo out of the holes, and then I'm going to put a guide coat on it and sand it and see where I'm at. Alright, be back with you. I just know this is going to take a long time for me to get straight, but I will do it, and it will be 100% better than it was. Alright, I'm out. Alright, so it got dark out and decided I would shove this thing over here to the side and bring the fender in. I have been working at it here for a while. First I had a hammer and a dolly, then I got out the slapper and I've been slapping at it. It's starting to get there. I still got this area right in here to get to, and then I gotta weld all these holes back shut where they drilled it. It did have a low right here on the edge that I've been pulled the lip out here a little bit so I can get in behind it, and I've been sticking my dolly back in here and kind of slapping it this way, trying to get this and this to match, if that makes sense. Just threw a coat on here. I got some area right in here that needs to be done yet. I'm getting ready as soon as it dries off. It's almost there. I'm gonna sand it again and see where my highs and lows are again. Like I said, this, I wasn't expecting this, but now it's here. I'm just not going to trip on it. I'm going to get it done. Alright, I'll get back with you on that mess. Okay, so this is where I'm at with it. It's 10:30 at night. I've been after it for a while, but it's getting there. Still got a little bit of a low right here that I've been working on, and a little bit of a low here. But I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to put a shrinking disc on it and shrink it down a little bit. But the major huge dents, these ain't very big at all anymore. You can see how the light colored, like they've been sanded. And the real shiny ones there, this has still got some shiny like around the edge of it, so it's a little low here still, a little bit low there, but overall, like that and there, let's see how that's still shiny, that's still low there, but overall it's coming out slowly. Like I said, I'm going to take the sanding or shrinking disc and take a shrinking disc over the whole thing, and that'll probably remove a lot of those low spots when it pulls the metal back together. Alright, that's where I'm at with it. I'm going to get this fender looking pretty and probably take it to the sandblaster and have him do just the inner structure here, and then these areas here, because that's going to be too hard to sand for me. I don't want to sand that. And the same thing on this one. This fender here, it's not too bad. It's got a little dent here, but overall it ain't too bad. I thought this was going to be the worst fender, and it ended up being the nicer of the two. It's got some damages. I mean, it's not perfect, but like this here is yucky, but I'll get it fixed up, get it looking nice so I can install them on the car, get my gaps looking good. Woo woo. Alright, that's where I'm at with it. I'll get back with you. Alright, so on today's agenda, not bad. 76 degrees. Got the yard mowed. So what I plan on doing is I got some more goodies in. I got the dust covers. I'm going to put them in the sandblaster so that they The paint adheres to them because the way they are right now, it'll probably just flake right off. And I got the upper and lower control arm bushings in. So my plan, get these sandblasted, get these in paint, press these bushings in, and then set that aside. Start cleaning up my tool room area. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. So I want to clean this up and get this done and out of the way. I have a whole nother crate full of tools downstairs that need to come out here. So that's what I'm going to be doing, get this cleaned up, because sometime this week I want to get my air compressor up here out of the basement of the house, where I've had it for a long time, because when I first bought it I didn't have a garage, so I put it in the basement and then put a air chuck out of the back of the house, because this used to be just a parking spot and I needed air to air up tires and stuff like that, kids' bikes, and you know. But air compressor is going to be going right there. I already got the line ran and the power wire ran over here. So that's kind of my plans. It's getting that cleaned up a little bit, and then if I got time after this is cleaned up, I am going to start assembling this, which won't be too bad, just bolting everything back together. And meanwhile, back at the ranch with this, as you can see, I'm down to bare minimum here of dents, of small little dings that I'm working on. I still have a low spot here and a little bit of a high here. So I ordered I thought I had one, but I didn't, metal shrinker disc. So I'll basically run the disc across there and then spray it with some soapy water and get rid of some of these highs here. So basically I'll run it here on this side, and then I'll go to the back side for this area here that's that way, so that it'll pop back this way. Anyways, so this is on the side for now until I get that disc. The plan is to get the body work, well, the dents part of it, knocked out as good as I can with the hammers and dollies, and then take them to, I want to pull the other bracket off the back of that one also and have them sandblasted, because I don't think they'll fit in my sandblaster. I can try, but if they don't fit in here, then they would need to go. Yeah, barely. Dilemma. But I might just call him and take him over to him, because I want to have I think I said in an earlier video, that inner structure all along that lip, front and back, I want to have that sandblasted, because them are areas that you have to sandblast them, because you'll never get a sander or anything in all those areas. So that's where I'm at with that. Get them fenders sandblasted, not the structure part of it, but the inner structure part, because I know people will be like, oh, don't sandblast them, you'll warp them. I already know that. So that's where I'm at. Yay, that's great. Sandblast them piece, get them in paint. Start cleaning up that over there. And press my bushings in. And start getting a little bit of this assembled. I did get some more brackets sandblasted and painted. Spring front hangers, spring rear hangers, and shock plates. And then, of course, I already have that done for the rear end, so fun. Get all this stuff together so this thing can get assembled and I can start getting done on the body work. Figured I'd start on the hardest part first, the fenders, and then when the fenders get done and hung on the car, I'll do the trunk lid because it's got some metal repair to be done. And then I should be able to sand the doors, and they got a little bit of metal repair on the doors, which ain't too bad. Moving on. Alright, boring video, I'm sure. Night. Alright, after sandblasting them and wiping them off with some reducer just to clean any dust or grease or anything off, I'm gonna paint them. Be back. And just like that, got them in some gray. Alright, get back with you. Alrighty then. And 2 hours later, man, it was a mess. I still have a few things to put up, but I think I've accomplished quite a bit. You can actually walk in here now. That's my wife. She brought all these home whenever her place of business went out. Hand sanitizer, hand sanitizing wipes. So I got a whole box of them. Not sure what to do with them. Might donate them to the school. But anyways, working on it, getting it there. Putting tools away. I can at least walk in here now. So I think I will press some bushings in. Alright. And just like that, right tool for the right job. I have the lower control arm bushings installed. Went ahead and sandblasted and cleaned up my K-frame bolts and washers. I will be doing black oxide on those, so I'm waiting for that to come in so I can dip them in the black oxide. Next will be to press this part out, the front end adjustment area. Gotta press them out of the A-arms, and then once those are pressed out, I can get them in paint and then press the bushings into them. Alright, be back. Alright, so one side down and one side to go. So what I've done with my big old butcher knife here is I'm cutting off the excess rubber that's sticking out here and here. If that makes sense. So, because you want to leave that inner shell in there when you're doing these poly bushings. You want to leave that inner shell. They do give you new centers, IDs, but you want to keep the OD of the bushing in there. And I just found it easier without putting a whole bunch of stress on the A-arm to not collapse in on itself. Some people take and cut a pipe that size, just cut it in half and then cut it to length and then roll it in there. But it comes out fairly simple without bending anything. If you use like a piece of metal like that, so it can slide through. But anyways, I just wanted to show that. Cut that excess rubber off there and there, and it'll push out a lot easier. Alright, get back with you. Okay, so that's what I was talking about. See how it's sticking out now? So you took some of the material away, so it's not so hard to push out of there. So alright, I'll get this thing pushed out of here. Okay, so I pushed on it a little bit and you see how it's starting to protrude, but then that inner sleeve is sticking out a lot further. So what I'll do now is I'll grab a hold of that with some vice grips and pull that sleeve out, and that's going to even make it even easier. The whole point of this is not to bend these together, because then your alignment's not going to be right and they'll be in a bind all the time and end up getting some squeaking and wearing out your bushings too soon. Alright, be back. Okay, so with that inner sleeve off, now I can press that on through. And see, with the rubber sticking out just a little bit, I can put it on this V where the get it set here, where that V is just setting there like so, and that'll let that rubber push on out of there. Alright, you're back. So when you're doing this, you'll have to use like various different spacers and stuff, where I'm using a little socket here so it pushes it down in there further. But then I got this old nail here to push the inner sleeve out of this side when it comes time. So once I push the sleeve out, then I could cut that completely off, and makes it a whole lot easier. Okay, so with that piece out, I'm just making a note that you can read where it says top side offset towards wheel on that one. The other one didn't say that, but this one does. So just wanted to make a note of that, the way that it sits there, before I forget. Alright, be back. Okay, and this is what I was talking about with the nail, pushing that inner sleeve out. Once you get that inner sleeve out of there, I believe that should be it. I got the inner sleeve pushed out of that side. Now I can use my handy dandy knife to cut them off, and then I'll use this socket and extension that fits this diameter, and I will push that rubber on through there. Be back. Okay, as you can see, I got the end cut off of it, both sides. Now I'm going to press that piece out. Alright, and just like that, with my extension and the socket, push that inner rubber out of there, and there she goes. There's that piece. Like I said, it's just using different little methods to get the job done. And that's that. It's all apart. Now I can go ahead and clean these back up with some reducer. Get the oil and grease off of them, and then I'm going to paint them before I put them back together. But alright, that's where I'm at with it. I'll get back with you. A little mental note for myself here. 2-305, that's the passenger side. Alrighty. Okay. 2-312, driver's side. Alright. Okay. So, such as life, not everything always goes as planned, but I did get a lot of stuff accomplished today, as in getting my tool room straightened up for the most part. I still have some stuff that needs to be put away and spots found for, but overall, not bad. Everything's finding its place. Air compressor will be over there eventually, but I got the bushings pressed in this and this. Got my tool room cleaned up. I did get the bushings all pressed out of these and left the shells for the new bushings, and got a little bit of paint on them. Some of the destroyer gray, no, so gloss smoke gray. So I was able to get some of the smoke gray on these, and after they dry, I'll come back out here in probably about 10 minutes or so and throw another coat on. And then when they dry overnight, tomorrow I can go ahead and press the bushings on and probably attempt to screw the ball joints into them without damaging the paint. Yay. That's going to be fun. But I think I can do it. So anyways, that's where I'm at with it. Did I get to install anything on that today? Nah, I didn't. But that's okay. It ain't going nowhere. Got my dust covers painted. Main thing was getting that area cleaned up. And now that's out of the way, I don't have to spend time doing that anymore. Need to get that in black. Get it mounted on the engine. But goals accomplished. I'm out of this garage. It's almost 87. Yeah, it's 87 in here. So that's that. Night night. All right. So today, what I've done so far is I got the front suspension bolts sandblasted. So we have your idler arm bolt, the torsion bar adjusting bolts, the, what do they call that, strut rod, the A-arm bolts, and then the sway bar, all the sway bar bolts for the sway bar links. All of them sandblasted. I get me a new wire brush, it's about wore out. But get me a new wire brush and I'll wire brush them all. I did also do the brackets for the kick down, get them in some paint, and then I had to put on my thinking cap to get the bushings pressed on here. A socket wasn't going to work because you have to press the center sleeve and the rubber part at the same time. I probably could have used that washer and a socket, but I didn't think about it. My thinking cap wasn't working that great. But I did have these strut rod washers, the front strut rod washers with a bushing that goes up front and a socket. So that and that combined was able to get them pushed in without putting anything in a bind. Anyways, yeah, with doing bushings and stuff like this, just it's whatever's clever and whatever works for you. Oh, I did get the ball joints pressed in also, or screwed in, should I say. Them are the screw-in type, and then my lowers do have the press-in type, so I'll need to do those also. But anyways, just moving forward. I did notice on one of these, I think it might be this other one, that I missed getting some paint in there, so I'll go ahead and shoot some more paint on that after I wipe it down and clean it off, because it's got a little bit of that grease on there from the bushings and a little bit of grease from the ball joints being pressed in, or screwed in, excuse me. So now I'm going to press the ball joints into the lower control arms. Moving on. I'll get back with you. Alright, and just like that, ball joints, all the bushings are in. Like I said before, right tool for the right job. This is if you're out in the field or something and you can't get to a press, but I got a press, but these little rings and all these come in handy to do ball joints. But alright, they're installed. Polyurethane bushings, mowed ball joints. I think this thing should steer a little bit better nowadays when I get it put back together. Alright, I'm out. Alright, so to cap off the day, went ahead and took the K-frame outside, and so I didn't get it covered up fast enough, I don't guess, when I was shooting primer and such in here, and doing sandblasting and stuff, and it got kind of covered with dirt like that. See how that looks? So I took it outside and hosed it off, and while I was at it, the insides of it still had some of that dirt clumped up inside of it. So I took the hose and sprayed it in through there and got some of it to come out. And after that, I re-scuffed it, shot another light coat of black on it, and then I busted out the 2K. I had 1 can of 2K clear, the Glamour clear, and I went ahead and shot the K-frame with clear, because as we all know, rattle can paint is really not that durable, and you might as well just say it's just a base coat. Anytime you do rattle can on a car like this, you should probably shoot a clear coat over the top of it to protect it. And like I said, it's basically like base coat in my opinion. So I did Glamour clear the whole K-frame, so it's pretty and shiny like the cross member here. I went ahead and cleared the A-arms, both of the A-arms, and then both of the control arms. I went ahead and shot some clear on them. Woo-hoo. Nice and shiny, pority. But anyways, yeah. I still have some other parts, like the sway bar, and then the knuckles and the backing plates. I want to clear everything before I assemble it, and then once I get it all in clear, I'll probably mount the K-frame onto the car and then start assembling it on the car, because this rotisserie, way back in the beginning of my videos, you can go back, and I did flip this car over with all the interior, the K-frame, windows, doors, all of that stuff was still connected. Steering column, brake booster, everything was still connected to the car when I flipped it. So that little bitty K-frame and a few suspension parts ain't gonna make or break the rotisserie from flipping over. Alright, just wanted to give like a nightcap here. So I'll have to, same thing with all the rear end parts and the rear end. As you can see, it is dusty, so that'll have to be cleaned off. And once it's all cleaned off and everything, I'll shoot another coat on it also, and then clear coat it too. The springs, they've already got like a coat, black coat on them, but I want to clear them also. So everything on the bottom, all the black stuff and the sway bars and everything is going to be clear coated, so it'll look pretty good in my opinion. Alright, so that's where I'm at. Just wanted to show you that little nightcap here. Got the K-frame all clear coated, looking good, ready to mount it on the car. Fun. Night night, I'm out. Okay, so this is the last video for this week. Tomorrow I will be getting the chemicals to do the black on the bolts, the black oxide, and the sealer that goes with it. And I will probably start attempting to put the K-frame on the car. But quick question here. When restoring a car, how far is too far? And is there such thing as overkill? Or do you think that guys should just halfway do it? Or lipstick on a pig is what I've always called it. When you're at a car show and you see a car and it's bling blinged out and it's looking nice and everything, and I'm the type of guy that will lay on the ground at the car show to look underneath of the car. And there's been a lot of times, man, where I've saw some cars that look nice, but when you start looking underneath of them, not so nice. And that's what I call lipstick on a pig. Just curious for the guys out there that actually restore cars and do it for a living, or just your average everyday Joe that wants to restore something. One of the reasons I ask is, when doing these fenders, sure, I could have scraped the stuff off the back of them. I could have smeared Bondo all over everything and made them look nice. Or do you go the extra mile and pull the inner structure out? I mean, when you look at it, really, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 spot welds on that piece to get it out. And then maybe 10 or so on them pieces. So 30 spot welds on each fender to remove the inner structure, to be able to get to areas like that. You know, I mean, do you just fix the fender up and not worry about what's hidden back there behind it? Or do you go the extra mile and remove them? So that's where I'm at. I went the extra mile. That way, you know, I can do repairs back in these areas back in here. Like right here, there's a dent right there on this side. You can see that dent? No way to ever get to that if that structure's in there. These rust holes, all this stuff back in here. I mean, do you take the extra time to do this, where, you know, I could get back in here now, where that structure you can see was all here, the headlight buckets. Now I can get back in this area and clean that up too. And another thing is, like this fender here, it's got some, you see where they squeezed the Bondo through them holes there to repair them holes in it? Do you just smear more Bondo over it, or do you pull the structure out and actually fix the damage? And that's what I'm going to do. I mean, and now I can get to the back side of here to address any kind of welds and really straighten the metal out and make it look nice. Like right in there, that's a dent. And they just put a couple holes in it, smear some more stuff on it, and that stuff's going to show back up later. You know, smear some fiberglass over the side marker light and just fill it up. So anyways, this is that fender. It was really beat the hell back here that I'm still working on getting straightened out. I probably won't do a whole bunch to these fenders with the structure out. I will do some stuff to them, like that front end repair right there, and then removing this goopity doop off of it on both sides on the inside here, removing that rust, and then these will be going over to him, and I will have him sandblast this area here on both of them, even on the back side here. And that's all I'm saying. I mean, he could probably hit this real quick with his blaster and clean it up, but that's where I'm at with it, guys. Just wanted to ask, am I going too far, or do you think this is a necessary step to restoration? I mean, did I have to do it? Nah, but I think it's going to be better. I mean, I'll know exactly what's going on with the car, and if it's ever sold further down the road, I'll have this video to go back on and say, look at that video. You can see how far I took this car down to actually make it nice. Alright, I'm out of here. Happy Labor Day weekend. I hope you all are getting a long weekend and enjoy it. Well, I know there's other Mopar Joes out there, but I'm the Mopar Joe in Kansas. Mopar Joe, Kansas City. I'll holler at you guys later. I'm about to bring them fenders in and set them on the stands here and bring the stuff in and call it a night. Later.